All right, everybody, welcome back to What I Wish You Knew About Your Wedding. I'm here with another great episode, one that I am actually really interested in myself because, to be honest, I don't see a lot of content out there on this topic. And there is always a lot of questions out there on Reddit, Facebook, brides, couples. They have a lot of questions about this specific topic. And we're talking about catering, food. And I have the incredible OTSC On The Spot Catering today.
What's up,
And
guys?
really excited to have him here. You've been waiting to get him on and in the studio, and we're going to be going through a bunch of questions that you guys, I'm sure, are all curious about. And we're going to get the real deal, truthful answers right here for you in this episode. So stay tuned. We're going to cover a lot of ground on this about catering. But first, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to let you just
Yeah,
let's talk about it. Let's talk about, your background, your experience, anything you want to mention,
yeah,
because I personally have experienced your food and I think it's top notch.
yeah, for sure.
I think
Yeah,
it's like it's like, you know what I mean. I was really the very first time. I'm always skeptical
yeah,
when
for
I
sure.
when I
Why
when I,
not? Yeah,
when I see new catering.
yeah,
If I haven't tried it, I'm always like I was like, oh, I don't know. And like, but man, when I saw you over there, and then also you had your video guy, and he's like getting all this video, and you were
yeah,
creating all this content, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's serious, man." And then you just like you were just so you looked so passionate and like you were so into it. And I was like, that's how I knew it was going to be good.
yeah, for sure.
And it was delicious, man. So tell everybody about yourself, your background, and everything what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's up, guys? Yeah, like you said, my name's Alec. I mean, as far as background goes, it's been quite a ride. I've been cooking for 10 years, about 8 professionally, because the first 2 I was just, washing dishes and scrubbing dishes, and all that stuff. But I mean, exactly what he just said. Like when I'm cooking, I'm like super locked in. To me, I respect food. Like there's a respect boundary that I have with food, and I treat it with respect. So to some people, it might not sound it just sounds crazy to some people, but for me, I'm going to serve somebody something that I would eat, and I'm just a big believer on people eat with their eyes first, like like period. Even at a larger scale, because we do weddings of 3, 4, 500 people,
Dang, that's a lot.
and honestly, at first, deferred any catering event that was buffet, just because, again, the respect thing. I hate when my food sits in a warmer for 5, 6 hours, and then people are, messy. Like I don't like messiness, you know what I mean? And
Right.
so for me, especially somebody that's getting married on, such a special day, um, everything should be nice. You know what I mean? The
Mhm.
food, the plating, everything like that. So yeah, I was deferring all these, catering things because they wanted buffet style, and I just wanted a plate. I just wanted a plate. And to be honest with you, a lot of it just comes with like when I'm plating and when I'm cooking or anything that revolves around food, I'm just thinking about food, right? So like I have a million things going on in my life, and none of that seems to matter when I'm cooking. You know what I mean? And a lot of my background, I got into cooking because of drugs and alcohol, unfortunately and fortunately. I got a rough background, been in trouble, um, all this stuff. And so when I got into the kitchen, it was actually a lot of people that had the same issues that I had. So it
Mhm.
was not only like a bonding moment, like through our troubles in our past, but also because it's kind of like what I was saying, like anybody that's a real chef and anybody that like has cooked on a line before, you understand the importance of not only sense of urgency, but like just focusing on what's at task at like that moment, because cooking is okay. You got to season, you got to sear, you got
Fast
to
pace.
flip. Okay, we're gonna start this dish. Boom, 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 boom. And I think a lot of that translated into my style of catering, which is plated catering. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll serve 200 guests in less than 20 minutes, and I'll take
Ah,
anybody up on a stopwatch like any day. You know what I
wow,
mean?
that's
And
crazy.
we just move, move, move. And I tell my employees, like, at the end of the day, like, sense of urgency. And if you mess up, it's okay. You messed up. Let's keep moving. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because I've been there, done that. The first time I ever got a job opportunity to cook, I had to cook this dish, the peppercorn steak. It's one of my top selling dishes for for weddings, for anything, honestly. And I cooked the steak 23 times incorrectly, and on the 24th time, I got it correct, and then I was able to cook, and I got out of the dish pit.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
yeah,
It's really you said a lot of there's a lot of interesting things there, and I do know that when I've experienced your food, the the plating it looks very intentional.
yeah,
It looks like you have it looks like you have meditated the design of
yeah.
what the plate's gonna look at based on what you're serving. Would you say that's true? Like,
Yeah, like, I'm getting the goosebumps you just talking about it just because the amount of money that I've spent on ingredients when I first started out, it's astronomical. You'd probably be like, "Dude, you're crazy." But I was so obsessed with like, I can just backtrack for 2
yeah.
seconds. Like, presentation to me is everything. So, like, I'm covered in tattoos. I'm tattooed from head to toe. I have hair now. But when I didn't have hair, already I was creating some type of presence with people. Because a lot of people will correlate tattoos with bad people or this and that.
Mhm.
And so when I come correct at people and I'm very soft spoken, very businesslike, they start to get this feel of like, oh, this guy's like serious, you know what I mean? So then when I show up on the day of whether it's a wedding, private dinner, or whatever, and I serve them this plate of food and they look at it, and everyone, for the most part, there's been 2 times out of my career so far where people just were not impressed, and I remember it, of course I
Of
do,
course, yeah, of course.
but for the most part, everybody's like, "Oh my god, like, what is this?" You know, and
Yeah,
then you dive into, like, there's so many flavors that go on in my dishes that it's like, I could see it on people's faces.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I
yeah.
hate my food. I do not like my food at all. It's just something I've always struggled with, even in my earlier years of cooking and culinary. But I know that all the flavors are there again, because back to what I was saying, like the amount of money that I spent on ingredients it was just crazy. It was just
Mhm.
crazy to find out everything that works and the seasonings, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So yeah, it has a lot to do with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, so let's just okay. Let's touch on what you said. So when you say you don't like your food, like is it a perfection thing? Like is it like is because it's like artist work, right? Or let's say even somebody who produces music or an actor or anything like that. Because it is a creative space. Technically, it's food, it's
Yeah,
culinary, it's
for
art,
sure.
culinary
Yeah,
arts, right?
yeah.
And so is the reason why you don't like it because it's like a perfection thing because you always feel like there's something that could have been like you missed the mark a little bit or
Yeah, well, I think, like, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, like, I am not good at anything except for cooking.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I mean, perfect examples. I had a dinner this past weekend and all the plates were just absolutely stunning. And I caught one plate with a carrot that wasn't touching the other carrot. And like, I like lost my
That's
mind.
crazy.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
told my
yeah.
wife, I'm like, "Hey, go back and grab that plate because I don't like it." She's like, "Dude, she's already eating it." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "We'll just leave it alone." But I have it on film and I've been watching it ever since. And that
That's
was on
crazy.
Friday, you know? And to me, like, the guests are probably not going to notice the freaking
No.
carrot.
No,
You know
no,
what
no,
I
no, no.
mean? But for me, again, it goes back to the questions we just answered earlier. Is like, I am so big on people looking at my food and going, "Oh my gosh," before they
Right.
even taste
Right,
it.
right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's
No,
all.
presentation, definitely can affect I think, um, presentation, I think in the wedding world, um, just how it's done, it automatically affects the mind.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
in the DJ world, I think for me, one of the things about um, presentation is your setup and what it looks like, and then also what you look like. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And because if you come in looking correct and your setup is clean, um, automatically there is an assumption of level of service,
Absolutely.
right? So there is something in the mind about that. If you come in and the DJ's a mess and he's in shorts and flip flops and or whatever, like
Yeah.
um or he's just wearing like street clothes, like straight up street clothes and something like that. It's like you're like, okay, he's a DJ, but like, okay, but like, as a wedding DJ, I try to present myself as best as possible so that
For
people
sure.
get the feeling like there's, and then but then there's this level of assumption that, like, because the plate looks good, it's gonna taste good. Already mentally,
Absolutely.
you're already building that stimuli because when you look at something, anytime you look at anything, or like, right, like, you can have charcuterie, you could have a family member do it and just put out a bunch of meats, and
Absolutely.
but when it has the trays
Yeah.
and the stuff and it's all nice and it's all spread out, it's like that shark now, if you were to compare, you'd be like, which one looks better?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it doesn't even mean
Yeah.
the smaller one that the family member did, it could have better meats and cheeses, more expensive stuff, but because this one looks better,
Yeah.
there's this assumption.
And I'm sure you'll get into it, but like especially in the catering industry, I don't know how it is about the DJ. I'm sure it's all the same, but I might be priced out 10, $15 higher on a plate,
Mhm.
right? And then somebody might be 10, $15 cheaper than me, right? But those 10, $15 cheaper. And just to backtrack for a second, like I get it. Like when I first started out, I mean, I was working a full-time job just to fund this business
Right.
in order to do what I need to do so
Mhm.
that I can focus on it and go full force, you know what I mean? Um, but back to what I was saying, like the people that are charging cheaper, like I don't know what their reasons are, you know what I mean? I know that there's some that have been in business way longer than I have and they're still at that price point, right? And I again, for me, if I'm going to take the time to plate 200-300 plates individually and make that look like to the next level,
Mhm.
right? um that's what you're paying for,
Yeah.
bottom line, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And to be honest with you, like I have moved over to the buffet station, especially because there's some venues that I work with that it's like we do not allow on-site cooking
Yeah. Right,
whatsoever,
right.
you know what I mean? And so once again, like, but I buy the nicest chafing dishes that you
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
buy, you know what I
All that
mean? I
stuff.
buy the signs and
Yeah.
do all the extra stuff again because for me, like, okay, cool, I can go buy a $30 chafing dish and slap a spoon in there and grab a Sharpie with some stickers. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's like, if that's what you want, that's what you want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I noticed that this whole year was people were on a budget. Like this year was really
Yeah,
like,
we're in a downward
yeah,
trend right
yeah,
now.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It was very much a bumpy ride this year. And I felt so bad that I had to turn away so many events because of their budget. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's a very hard pill to swallow to be like, hey, you might have to come down in quality just a bit so that these people can still at least get a decent dinner and
Mhm.
still have that presentation be there. Because I use fillets, right? So I
Mhm.
use center cut fillets. So instead of center cut fillets, I can get a top sirloin baseball cap.
Mhm.
Looks exactly like a fillet, $20 cheaper,
Mhm.
$30 cheaper. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? It might
Yeah.
not chew the same,
Yeah, yeah.
right? But
Right,
like now
right.
I'm meeting somebody else's needs, and it's also a good feeling too. Like they want me. They want me to cook their food, right?
Right.
Because either a recommendation or they came across the Instagram
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh my God, like this guy,"
Yeah. Right.
And so that's something I'm working on jumping into next year is like creating a whole separate like budget friendly menu
Yeah.
to where I can still give those people a really good experience
Yeah.
without them having to because catering's a nightmare sometimes. With the stories I hear, I'm
Right.
like, it's just disrespectful. It goes back to what I was saying about the food. Like I respect food
Yeah, yeah.
already, and to watch people disrespect it, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, yeah, like, you know,
Yeah, and that too, I think, in any respect can be it's like you have to be careful. It's a dangerous balance, right? Because you've already set a really high bar for what you do. And so then when you do work with people, I think it's obviously it's something you have to think about a lot because when you serve those people, it's not what you usually serve. So then they're not getting what you would normally do, and they don't know that. So it's like
yeah,
it's a little bit of a balance,
it
right? Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
Something you have to think
absolutely.
through.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's do this. Let's get into some rapid fire questions. Okay, these are
Okay.
some culinary, related, wedding related questions. I got 14 of them for you.
All right,
Okay,
let's do it.
so let's do the first one. Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Savory.
Yeah.
All right. How about favorite cuisine?
Mexican, but American infusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your signature dish?
Probably the peppercorn steak.
Peppercorn steak. What would be a dream event to cater?
Um, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm not allowed to say it on camera. I wish I could. Like I've done one already that
Okay.
like I could have just like it was the best thing ever. It was the best thing
Okay.
ever.
All right. We'll leave it.
Yeah,
We'll leave it
we'll
there.
leave that one
We'll leave it
open.
that one there. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Indoor or outdoor weddings?
outdoor
Outdoor. Okay. Buffet or plated? We know that.
plated.
Plated.
Yeah.
Cocktail hour must have appetizer.
Ooh, for me right now, the corn cups are hot. Yeah,
Corn
corn
cups. Hell
cups.
yeah. Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah,
If you weren't catering, you'd be doing what?
probably.
Anything and everything?
That's yeah. We'll just leave that
All
one
right.
blank. Yeah.
A song that gets you hyped in the kitchen.
Anything old school countries 2000. I
Okay.
don't care what it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
All right. And then how about is there a chef or someone you admire?
Chef Grant, he's a chef out in Chicago, but like quick 10-second story. This dude lost his taste buds and remained on fundamentals of cooking to keep cooking.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Oh
respect,
wow, dang.
respect.
Favorite ingredient?
Garlic.
Garlic. Oh, I love garlic,
Yeah,
dude. I love
garlic's the
heavy. I
best.
like heavy garlic. All right. Secret weapon spice, if you can say it.
Chipotle. I'll just leave it
Chipotle.
at
Okay, all
that.
right. Leave it. Yeah, there we go. Messy kitchen or spotless?
Spotless.
All right. And then last one, 3 words to describe your style. 3 words.
Fun, exciting, and intense.
Nice. All right. I love that, man. All right. So let's get into some of the main questions that we have for you today. So, the right off the bat, I think this is what most couples are often asking about. And you could give a general answer, but also an answer specific to you. But and we're talking specifically about a wedding here.
Okay.
What what should people be prepared to spend per person on catering? What is that at a wedding specifically? What is that range? What do you think that range is where like this like the low that like the lowest that you think someone should pay, like because as a DJ I don't think people should pay any less than 150 to 200 an hour.
Easily.
If they're charging less than that, I'd be concerned.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
why? So so what would be the lowest you think somebody should pay per person for catering? And then what is the most you think somebody should pay per person?
Well, I mean yeah, that's actually a really good question. You know, okay, so for me, my menu, they start at 15 bucks a person. That's
Mhm.
just like a basic like taco bar. I mean,
Okay.
it's gonna look super nice, you
Right.
know what I mean? But that's just like your bottom barrel, like, hey, we're not trying to spend, eight, ten
Yeah.
thousand dollars on food. And honestly, a lot of couples do that.
Yeah.
They go that route, which is, we have fun either way, it doesn't matter. And then you jump up a little bit to my chicken dishes, and that's around 30 to 35 a person.
Okay.
And same with the pastas, they're 35 to 45 a person. And then you get into the beef and it's 45 to 65 a person,
Okay.
right? Anything over that. So like I love to give people the options, especially people that know like meat. Let's say I'm talking to somebody that's an expertise in meat, and I'm like,
Mhm.
hey, I use end to end fillet cuts. And he's gonna be like, no, I want center cuts. And I'm gonna be like, well, dude, I mean, I'm gonna have to charge you an extra 10, 15 a person.
Mhm.
Right. So at that point, if you're okay with spending that, then by all means,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I appreciate people that do understand not only ingredients but cuts of meats. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because right now in the food industry, the pricing of food it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
absolutely
Right,
crazy.
right.
So back to what you're saying, the comment you made, like people that are charging $25 for a beef dish, I highly recommend you ask them, like, can we see where you're getting that meat at?
Select, choice, prime, like
Yeah,
what kind of yeah,
yeah, you know what I
what
mean?
kind of beef are
Yeah,
you using
where are you
and
getting
where are you
that
getting
from?
that from?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I could tell you right now, a case of steaks, I mean, I can show you a receipt. It cost me 700 bucks for
Yeah.
32
Oh yeah,
steaks.
I mean I and I shop meat like from anywhere from Ralph's to
Yeah,
Costco to and it's like it's yeah, I mean cuz it's that's like if they're charging that much, like that's not even the price. So where are they getting it? Cuz that you
exactly.
can't even get the
No,
steak for that much.
no.
So it's like, well, yeah, what kind of bulk ordering, are you doing?
And like
So
yeah, and like I said, like I've seen like so I shop at 2 different places and they're 2 pretty big name places. And just the conditions that some people's food is traveling in, I'm
that
like
too.
so again, man, everything for me is gonna go back to like respect. And I've
Yeah,
worked under 2 chefs in my career. I've seen people be fired for, their station being dirty, their floor being dirty, sauce being dripped over into another. Like I've seen them fired, not sent home, fired.
fired.
You're done.
You're
Get
done.
out of my kitchen. You're done.
Yeah,
And it honestly scared me, number one, because I'm like, I'm not good at anything else and I'm not going back to a warehouse. So it's like, dude, just be clean. Like
yeah,
be clean. Like when I do nice weddings, I wear white.
yeah,
At the end of my night, my chef coat is white.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
like it took me a long time to
To do
be
that,
able
to
to
get
do
there.
that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because if you walk into any kitchen right now, I can take you to a fancy restaurant up the street and you'll watch guys,
yeah, yeah,
do this,
yeah,
right? Or they'll like go
yeah,
like
yeah.
that and then boom, they're not, they're doing this and
Back to it.
then they're just back to it.
Yeah,
And it's like at my kitchen, the people that work one under me, they have this running joke like, Alex expectations because it's a thing. If we're at an event and like I had one guy long time ago, he had a bloody nose, right? And he did the correct thing. He called me and said, "Hey, I have a bloody nose." And I was like, what do I do? I said, "Go in the van, stay in the van, and I'll call the people of the party and let them know what's going on." You know what I mean? To where let's say you have somebody that has no idea what they're doing and they jam a paper towel up their nose and they're serving guests and you got
yeah,
a freaking paper towel in your nose. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's just one of those things where everyone's different, right? Everybody does everything
yeah,
a certain way, but like for me, the whole respect thing that was basically pounded into me was like, okay, like I respect it.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
So on the low end, then we're looking at 15 a person, and that gets you like a taco bar,
yeah,
something like that.
for sure.
And on the high end, 65,
That's the
maybe
surf and turf.
maybe 80,
Yeah,
depending on
yeah,
the meat selection.
for sure.
And then if somebody was trying to charge somebody more than that, do you think that's where, like, is that like, I guess I don't wanna use the word scam, but is
Yeah.
it like, is it just charging extra to charge extra at that point?
So I mean that's a good question, man. Honestly, like I said, everyone's different. So I mean, let's just say somebody's charging 85 and I'm charging 65 and we use the same exact
Right.
ingredients. But let's say his plate is stacked a little high. Let's say his plate looks nicer than mine, right? I highly doubt it, but
Yeah.
let's just say
Right.
his plate looks nicer
Yeah.
than mine, right? For me, if I'm a guest attending and a plate that comes out that's stacked, it's beautiful, it's got greens on top and it's
Yeah.
layered and everything. I'm not really so much worried about the price, right? As to if something comes out and it looks like, a complete mess on
Yeah.
the plate. And I'm like, dude, I just paid
Yeah.
if you're paying 65 a plate and a plate comes
Better
out and
look
it
nice.
looks
Yeah.
like crap and someone says, "I'm paying 65 for this," you'll never hear plate comes out nice. I'm paying 65 for this. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll never sit here and say that somebody's trying to scam somebody out of money, but I would be
Or
very
overcharge or whatever.
overcharging.
Yeah.
I would be skeptic on what's this gonna look like.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You
So
know what I
so
mean?
so that so that's the key point in
Yeah.
this question is it if you're starting to go over 65, 75, go over 80,
Yeah.
then the question should be like, what is it going to look like? That
Right.
cuz now, cuz like you said, the ingredients are probably not going to be different, so it's like then the extra money is either probably in presentation of the plate,
For sure.
or also, I forget what they call it, you'd probably know the name, like, maybe it's in the way it's physically plated. What do they call it? Like duet plating, where, like, people lay it down at the
Yeah,
same
for
time
sure.
type of
Yeah, yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Maybe you're
Yeah.
some kind of special.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too that I think people will overlook, right? Let's say you're a client of mine. You're
Mhm.
like, "Hey, Alec, I'm getting married. This is what I want." Boom, boom, boom. And I say, "Hey, bro, it's gonna be it's 65 a plate." And you're like, "Whoa, 65!" Like, But then I say, if I were to break down that 65 with ingredients, meat costs, right? And then I'm like employee, like
Yeah,
let's say you want it served. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I don't chart on my invoices. There's never a thing for servers and service charge and
Yeah, all
I
that
don't
stuff,
do
yeah.
none of that. I
Yeah, yeah.
just factor
By
everything,
the
yeah,
person.
into the person because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need 3 servers for 100
Yeah,
people.
it's built into the
It's
cost.
just
Yeah,
built in,
right.
and it's not like I take care of anybody that wears my logo. Anybody that
Yeah,
works for me, I take care of them as best as I
yeah,
can. Again, because presentation and like I know like there's 3 servers right now that I can call that I can stack my surf and turf up to the ceiling and they're gonna walk with it and they're gonna set it down and it's gonna look the exact
yeah,
same. I will pay somebody extra to do that.
right.
You know what I mean? Because you're helping my business.
Yeah,
You're helping people see like, "Oh my god, like, what is
yeah,
this?" You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So,
I feel that.
yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this, and I think this is where also people I've seen, like, maybe get confused before, because 'cause I've been to weddings where they have outside catering and then but then things are missing. So, like, so when we're talking about this 65 person, let's separate some of the things that you provide versus don't provide. So, what I'm saying is, in your price, I mean, it could be any of your services, any level, does that so that it sounds like that cost covers maybe, servers, but do you also provide, like, the cutlery, the plates, the stuff, or do they have to provide that? Or should they expect to provide that stuff, cutlery, plates, napkins, like, all this stuff? Or is that something that automatically people should expect, like, the catering to bring? Because honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good question. So, the short answer to that question is no, I didn't used to. Absolutely not. It's a complete headache. You know what I mean? Until I got married and I saw how stressful everything was, where I was like, this is crazy. Maybe I should just be like an all-inclusive done
Uh-huh.
deal. Here we go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, and after working with this planner, her name's Shannon. She's the best, man. She's the absolute best. You know, she brought it to my attention like maybe we should have an all-inclusive package for you. You know what I mean? She's like, it's
Mhm.
more work on you, you know what I mean, for
Yeah.
sure. And I don't overcharge anybody. Whatever
Yeah.
the vendors are telling me, that I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I do feel like you know, if you can be like a one-stop shop, I mean, not only logically does it work, but for the couple themselves, like the stress that gets relieved off them, right?
Yeah. Because you don't
Because
have to worry about
yeah, I'm very like detailed
it's another
oriented.
thing.
I got 30 notepads in my van and I'll have the date, the person, and I'll have vendor this, vendor that. So we have started doing that. And obviously, like I just stated, like, I mean, it's a lot of work for us. You know what I mean? Like we have to make sure that this company delivers and all this stuff. And then I got into the plate and cutlery game because a lot of people were wanting their food on plastic plates. And I'm
Mhm.
like, and like, again, we're always going to circle back to the respect and
Yeah,
the
yep, yep, yep,
presentation.
mhm.
And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to like buy all these plates and like whatever. If I sit on them, I sit on them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And again, I don't like overcharge anybody for
right.
it. I think I charge like a dollar
Like, a couple extra
75,
bucks per
yeah,
person,
per
yeah,
person,
to
but
cover it.
you get the
Yeah,
fork, the knife, the
okay,
dinner plate, you know what I mean? And so an extra 500 bucks, like
yeah,
your
and it's
stuff's
done.
gonna look super
Yeah,
nice and you don't have to worry about it, you know?
okay. So the answer would be sometime like, it would be an add-on, but it shouldn't be assumed that it should not be assumed that the catering's gonna provide that. It
No,
should be something that
no.
they talk about
Yeah,
or figure out. Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, alright, and let's do this. Um, how how do you, I think you just kinda touched on it. How do you handle, like, coordination with the venue or planner? Are you doing that? Do you just is that just part of what you do? Do you do that directly,
Yeah, yeah, for
yourself,
sure.
or is the couple kind of responsible for a lot of that?
So the initial, I'm sure that we'll get to one of these questions, but
Yeah.
the first initial contact that I have with any future clients, I basically request a meeting with them, right?
Mhm.
I'm a very face-to-face kind of person. I think it's more professional for them
Mhm.
and they probably will feel more secure. I mean, let's get it straight. Like at the end of the day, like food, like DJ, venue, like all this stuff is very, very important.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, if you have somebody that's super inexperienced with not only communication, but just organization,
Mhm.
like it's not a good look. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But no, so we have a meeting, we talk. Like I said, you're probably gonna ask this question. We try the food out, we do all
Okay.
this. Um, and then, for the most part, a lot of the clients move forward and you know what I mean, some
Yeah.
of them don't. But yeah. And then from there I started a group chat with my wife. She does all my books and
Okay.
stuff. And then I have this huge whiteboard at home and it has all the events for the month. And again, I have these like these yellow notepads, the little square
Yeah.
ones from Staples or whatever. And everything's in there. My shopping list, the times that people are eating, the quantity of people, vegetarian, special
Yeah.
diets, like all this stuff. And so Mondays are kind of like my day to like kind of get everything together for the week. And so from tonight until later tonight, like it's all just writing. I'll check in. And that group chat really saves our
Okay.
butt
Nice.
because, hey, Alec, we need to add 5 people. And I've had it happen where people don't text in the group chat and it gets lost.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
because I mean, my phone's business, so there's
Yeah.
no personal stuff,
Yeah.
So if I don't see a group chat name, then I accidentally delete it. I keep my folders clean so that like everything's there.
Yeah, everything's, yeah,
You know what
organized.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So yeah, so you will not only you'll have that initial meeting, but then you'll stay in like kind of like a constant contact
constantly, I will check in.
situation.
If I don't hear
Yeah.
from them for like a
Right.
few weeks, I'll check in and say, "Hey, is everything
So
good?" I
yeah.
mean, I just got a text right now from a client that's in 2 weeks. And I say, "Hey, let's schedule a FaceTime call tonight."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any questions that you have, let's do it.
Let's do
And
it.
during that FaceTime call, I'm already in their group chat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to lose anything,
Right, right, right,
And
right.
then planners, I mean, it's hit or miss with planners. Shannon, I mean, we already both know each other
Yeah,
very
because somebody you
well.
work with,
You
yeah,
know what I
a
mean? So
lot,
like
yeah.
she already knows, like, God, I don't have to tell Alec to do
Yeah,
nothing.
right,
Like
yeah.
just do like I have a day of server. And that person's literally in charge of setting all the tables, the
Mhm.
flatwares, the glasses,
Okay.
like water service, like, and those are all things that if you're having like a big wedding, like 9 out of 10 times, like those services are requested,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, with your catering, um, I would think the answer is pretty obvious, but I'll ask anyways. Um, there's a couple things. Do you accommodate, like, are you able to adjust and accommodate dietary restrictions and like allergies? And then also, if they need it, do you offer like kid-friendly options? Like,
Yeah, so kids meals I always do for free. I'm
oh,
not gonna
okay.
sit there and be like, "Hey, it's thirty
Yeah, yeah, it's
dollars
like,
for
yeah,
a
it's,
kid's
yeah,
spaghetti." Like,
12 bucks.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I think the most we did was like 30 kids, and
Hmm.
like I told the clients, I said, "Listen, if it's over like 40, 50 kids, like I'm gonna have to charge you like at least food
That's
costs."
a lot.
You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like,
that's
yeah,
down
yeah,
here now.
yeah,
You're getting
yeah,
into it.
that's a
Yeah,
lot,
you're getting
But
deep.
if you
Yeah.
got like 10, 15, 20 kids, like, listen, as long as the kids are happy, everyone else is gonna be fine.
Right,
You know what
right,
I
right,
mean?
right.
And then as far as special diets, like, man, that's a great topic that I feel like gets overlooked, and a lot of chefs, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, so some people don't respect vegetarians or vegans or gluten frees, and like
Right.
like for me, everybody is their own person. Okay. Like if that's your decision, it's your decision. And I'm gonna make sure that you have a plate of food that's good and fantastic. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I worked in a private kitchen for 3 years. And when I say I had 75 people to cook for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, about 20 to 30 of those all had special diets. So
What?
I think that it was just a
Oh my gosh,
great
dude.
experience for me to go through that, because now when it's like, hey, I have celiac disease, or I have gluten allergy, or hey, I have this, I'm like already trained, like, all right,
You already know
cool.
what to do. You already
I
know how
got
to
you
adjust
guys.
and change.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. You know what I mean? And people like they respect that. Like vegetarians and vegans are like the main ones that I deal with. And they respect when somebody accommodates them and it's not just vegetables on a plate, and it's
Yeah.
like, "Here you go."
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because, like,
yeah.
that's what happens.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
The
happens.
vegetarian plates, it's like,
Yeah,
whatever, what like, the most common, plate vegetarian plate I see is, it's the I don't even know what it's called. It's the stuffed, shells, like
yeah,
the
for sure.
that's the
Manic
cheese,
yeah, r yeah,
whatever.
something yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I get
whatever it
it.
is. That's
Yeah,
like every venue, like, it's like that with some sauce on it,
yeah.
and, like, yeah,
They just call it a day.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's nothing special or
no.
like, yeah. So vegetarian plates, I think, are often just, like, kinda, like, generic, you
Yeah,
know? So that's cool that it's crazy that you say that, like, because like, that many people with different things going on to have to that's a, like, insane experience to have a background in
yeah,
because, yeah, because now you encounter it, and like you said, you already know what to do.
yeah.
And I feel like maybe some people, like, can't do that or, like, haven't had enough experience with it, like
Yeah, and it's not their fault, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, if I were to even to backtrack on the statement I just made, like, it's as chefs, as people who cook, well, you know what I mean? Like, you have to experience what I just told you, like, I worked in that private facility. You have to experience that stuff because if not, like, there's no, you're not versatile in everything,
right,
right? Like, let's just say you just work at a steakhouse for 30 years. Well, okay, I mean, you might cook a steak better than me, but do you know how to make mashed potatoes?
right,
You know how to make mac and you know how to do anything else
yeah,
but cook a steak?
right,
You know what I mean? So there's a difference between a line cook and a chef, right? Like there's a
big difference.
huge ladder. And for me to even call myself a chef, like I would more so just call myself an enthusiast of cooking because like dude, at the end of the day, like a real chef, like baking, like anything,
Mhm.
right? Like let's say one of my fridges goes down right now. Like if you're like a master of your craft or whatever, you know how to tune this, you know how to do that, you know how to do this and all this stuff, right?
Wow,
Like for me, it's just like you throw me in a kitchen with 30 guys to, brigade around and tell them what to do and pump out a dinner service, like I'm gonna kill it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like those are the level of experiences that I have as like, I wash dishes, I line
right,
cooked, I prepped cooked, I sous chef, I expedited, I served.
yeah.
I've done all these things. But if you put like a baking recipe in front of me and say, "Hey, bro, I'll give you $10,000 if you make this perfect," I'd be like, "No,
Yeah, not having to keep
I'll
it.
pay you 5,000 not to air." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it wouldn't happen.
yeah.
So
Let's, ask you this, uh, for you specifically, um, how for catering, how far in advance should people be booking? Like, if they're, like I mean, some people also will have, like, short-term weddings, like, where all of a sudden, boom, their wedding is now it's like
yeah,
they're getting married. They're gonna get married in 3 months because of whatever reason. Like, the most common reason why people, for me, have moved up wedding dates is because mom or dad is sick,
for sure,
and
absolutely,
there's something that, like, now we can't wait. We can't wait a year, so we're bumping it up.
yeah,
It's not like a fun situation,
yeah,
but, like so when people, like, call to book you, like, what just give me the ideal time frame of when people should be booking catering, and you can use yourself as that example, and then also tell me what, like, the shortest amount of time is that someone could book, because I know that, you have to do the food and the
for
resources,
sure,
and I know people think this is so simple, and
yeah.
I'm really in this statement, I'm really I'm really simplifying that process. We could
Yeah,
probably have a whole nother episode just
for
about
sure.
that, about
Absolutely.
sourcing and all that, and
Yeah.
food costs, and
Yeah.
so but for you, what would be the ideal time frame for people to book you, um, from the wedding day, and then what is, like, the shortest, like, booking
Yeah.
that you would accept?
Well, number one, like I was told from the get-go from one of my chefs that I worked under that like we're in the yes business. It doesn't matter if it's catering or you're working as a line cook or you're doing this, like the answer is just yes. Like, hey, my steak was cooked incorrect. Yes, right?
Okay.
So I've translated that into the catering industry for myself and like rarely do I say no to people.
Oh, really?
And so I have 3 vans right now and I'm able to probably take I don't know, that's a tough one because the most we ever did in one day was 5 events and I had one little ProMaster City van.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, I was up at 2 o'clock and like we are running back and
Wow.
forth between everywhere. So I don't know how many I can do in a day. I'm pretty capable of like doing a lot.
Mhm.
So let's say you texted me right now and said, "Hey, I have a party this Saturday." I'm gonna look at my calendar. I already know what times those are at. I know how many hours it takes to prepare, and if I can squeeze you in,
Oh,
I'm gonna
short
tell you
notice. That's short
yes.
notice.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you yes, and I'll put that stress on me, and like I'll figure it out. The biggest thing that I run into, man, and like I feel like people think I'm trying to sell myself when I do this, and this goes for any catering company. Like I know that they all go through, or anybody in general, um, is they wait too long to book. Like let's say you come over for a tasting
Yes.
and we're in July, and you're like, well, my wedding is in, let's just say November. Let's say
Mhm.
at the end of November,
Mhm.
and you come over for the tasting and everything's fine, and then you're like, okay, we'll let you know.
Well, yeah, we'll get back to you.
We'll get back to you.
Mhm.
And I will be like, no problem. Thanks for coming. Everything, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. You know what
Right.
I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah.
Um, and so I will, if I don't hear from them from a month, right? If I'm sending out a text to you, it's because somebody else is inquiring about that date
Date.
now.
Mhm.
And they might be deposit ready. They don't care about a
Yeah.
tasting because of, again, of a reference
Yep.
or
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
social
Yeah.
media.
Mhm.
And so I will always 10 out of 10 times give the first client that respect, you know what I mean? And I will ask them, right? And if they're still not ready to make a decision, I will just, and I'll say, like, somebody else is trying to book that date. And to them, they're probably like, this guy's just trying to push
Right.
himself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like, no, 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 I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's trying to book this date and like, I'm going to give it away. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'd rather do one huge wedding than have five or six in one
Yes.
day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Of
And
course. Yeah.
work
Yeah. Yeah.
myself to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bone. So I think a lot of people, and you know, I always try to encourage people to like taste my food last. Like go taste everyone's food. If
Yeah.
they even offer it,
Yeah.
go taste all of them and then come to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not because I want you to like see the difference. It's not an egotistical thing. It's just like you can't just like eat my food. Even people that come to me first, I'm like, I highly encourage you go try other food
Yeah.
for sure, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody else might be doing it better than me,
Right.
right? I don't even know. Like I don't sit there
Yeah.
and
You don't know. You don't know.
stalk
Yeah.
people. Like I can care less. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But like I always tell people like they might be cheaper, they might be more expensive, but you might get a salad added to your thing. I'm gonna
Yeah.
charge you extra because I make all the dressings from
Yeah.
scratch.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think people they get it a little they I don't know if they get confused or they're just like, is this guy just trying to sell himself to me? Or it's like,
No. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm
No.
sure you deal with stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that all the
so
time.
so for me, because I'm so busy, right? Like I just we were just talking before this. I did 10 events in 11 days.
Yeah.
And so I'm blessed in the sense of I I'm not worried about booking anyone.
Yeah.
I have so much work. I'm booked into December of 2027 right now. I am not worried.
Yeah.
I I I want your booking.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not I in the very beginning when I first saw, I mean it took me like 7 to 10 years or so, somewhere around there before I became full time, where I
For
didn't have
sure.
to have a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, I had to have some other job and do this on the weekends
For sure.
uh, before it became full time.
Which is the best way to do it.
Yeah, and so I mean, I put in the work, and now I'm at a place where I'm where I wanted to be when I started. I've made it. Like I know I'm there, because when people inquire, there's 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 two things that feel so good now versus looking back at the beginning, and that is my price is my price, and if it's not for them, it's okay
Yeah.
because I'm not like I'm sure you can, like, in the beginning maybe you can
Yeah.
just relate to that, like where
For
like
sure.
I'll do it. Like
Yeah.
you only got a few $100. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
I need the money, I need the experience, like, I need to do more.
Absolutely.
So I would just take it because I was desperate to get that gig because I'm my name nothing's established. I don't have anything coming. So, there were months in the very beginning where, like when I first started, I might only have had one wedding a month, like on average, like or two,
For sure.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I'll take whatever. And then but now it's nice because the price is the price, and if it's whereas back then I would have just folded and said, "Well, what's your budget?
Yeah.
I'll do it." I don't do that anymore, and then the other thing is like you. I'm not trying to push people into booking. So when they inquire and I give them the price, I say, "Just so you know, as a company, we do about 200 events a year.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know that and I also I will tell people this. I will give them the price and say, just so you know, I'm not going to contact you again
Yeah.
because I'm not going to push you
For
into
sure.
it.
Absolutely.
I have two other DJs that work underneath me. There's already events booked for that day, but if we get fully booked out, I cannot be your DJ.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as you. It's
Yeah.
like but I won't even reach back out because the deal is that most likely there's already an event that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a company, and I just have to assign the DJs. So it's I know what you're saying, and
Yeah.
I wish people out there would take away from this part is that, if you are if you are wanting a vendor
Yeah.
and they're saying, "Hey, like this if I'm giving you the option because somebody else like they're not lying to you.
Yeah.
They're not. They're probably not. They're probably I don't not if they're good.
Yeah.
If
For
they're
sure.
established and they're
Yeah.
good, then they are not trying to trick you. They are being legit serious. Like you, me, we are being serious.
Yeah.
Like once I'm booked out, like once we're fully booked, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Can't do anything for you guys. So no, I'm glad you mentioned that because that is something I think in the wedding world that couples think it's like some kind of scam or deal or like push or like or fear like, oh, if you don't book, and it's like
Yeah. The
um,
big thing too you said is just like the price is the price. I mean, it's not like I feel like everyone's the prices are stuff like I'm sure, we're probably on the higher end of pricing, but it's like we're trying to give you guys like a great experience. And like at the end of the day, like you're getting married, right? And just from my experience from getting married, like I don't really even necessarily remember much from my wedding. Not
mhm.
that I
No,
I
nobody
wasn't
does.
drinking, you know what I mean? It was just there was so much going on and stuff, right?
Nobody does.
But I heard back from the wedding that all the guests like loved our wedding, and I'm like, dude, that's cool. Like everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
So imagine you have this guy did it cheaper, 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 and this guy did it cheaper, and now a song forgets to play, or
Mhm.
we're short 5 steaks,
Yep.
or hey, this smells funny, or you got brown lettuce in your salad, or
Right.
something.
Something.
You know what I mean? To where it's like, you know,
You get
yeah,
what you pay for.
we're kind of trying to tell you that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and people that are booked, yeah, that's so yeah, I feel that, man, like,
yeah,
yeah, people so you can take super short notice, and then, obviously, it doesn't really matter, then the booking further out is not obviously,
yeah, yeah. Because I mean,
it's
for the
good.
most part, most of the meats that I get, they're cut to order, so it needs, I mean, maximum 48 hours. So if you call me on a Wednesday for a Saturday, like I'll take it.
Dang, that's
Even
crazy.
if you call me on a
I'm
Thursday,
surprised
like
by the
I'll take
answer that
it.
you get that you
No, yeah, because most people won't, but, like, for me, it's, I mean, man, I just work at, like, such a high, like,
Yeah,
level of pace, sense of urgency, what I was talking about, that, like, it doesn't matter if it's 10 chicken breast or 100 chicken breasts, because
right.
both of my grills are gonna be on,
It doesn't matter.
and I can do 50 at one time.
Wow.
So, to me, it's we're just in and out, you know?
I think this is gonna relate to that
Yeah.
question. Um, so because you mentioned party, not wedding, so that leads into this, do you have any kind of minimums, like, that you charge or, like,
Yeah.
maybe not minimum guest count, but, if I call you and I'm like, "Let's just use that room. Hey, man, I'm having people over on Saturday, I'm having 15 people over." Is
Yeah.
that enough for you?
Yeah, so I have 2 different services. I have private chef services, which can be anywhere from 4 people to I think I cap it at like 40. Because after that,
Okay.
I'm like, we can just move to the catering side if you
Over
want
40.
over
Okay.
40. But again, those ingredients are gonna change now.
Yeah.
So my private dinner menus, they start at $100 per person.
Wow,
And
okay.
that's just an entree, that's plates, that's silverware, that's like you're going to a restaurant
Okay.
wherever you are.
Yeah, so the
You know what I
price
mean?
goes up because it's yeah,
The
because yeah,
ingredients,
a bit
right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, like, I mean, perfect example is just the cuts and meats, right? The carrots or the mashed potatoes, I
Mhm.
make them a certain way, like all that stuff. But those go. I've had people pay me $200, like the top of the line of my menu. And they got like a 7 course meal, and like they were eating for like 3 4 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for them, I don't know if they were used to paying that much because even me, like the only reason it's priced like that is because I factor in like the cost of food, the
The
server, right,
time,
all that
all that,
stuff,
the
and
hours,
I'm
yeah.
just like, okay, like I mean that's pretty fair, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And then even the desserts, like I don't know how to bake, so I'm outsourcing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm not charging you double from what I'm paying
Right,
the
right, right.
baker that
Yeah,
does all my
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? And she's like the only person I trust. And then catering is it's 50, right?
Mhm.
So and as long as I meet like $1,000 requirement, like
Okay. Yeah,
it's
there it's
fine.
where it's
You
at.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be worth it to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Um, all right. And then do you um you mentioned this, I think you mentioned this already, but everything in your costs, like everything's built into that. So like there's no surprises. There's no like,
No.
hey man, like now there's like a setup charge, cleanup charge,
No.
travel fee,
No,
like all
so
of that.
I don't do any of that, and I'm very transparent and upfront with clients beforehand. Like I do work at this venue in San Diego, and I charge $100 travel fee, which it's probably going to cost me $100 there and back to
Mhm.
get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do that, and then I do have a gratuity at the end of the
Okay,
bill.
you do have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I've looked at other invoices and stuff from other companies
Mhm.
and stuff, and I mean they're charging the service cleanup fee, they're charging all this extra stuff that adds up to like 1,000, $1,500 at the end of the night, to where I'm just like, my servers that come and work, like we were at Lakeside
Yep.
2 weeks
Yeah.
ago,
Yeah.
we served 85 people in 14 minutes.
Mhm.
And then by the time everything was cleaned up and done, like my servers were only there for maybe 3 hours.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I bring those servers, like they're maintaining your property. Now, if you want that day of server that we were talking about, that's an additional charge because now I'm going to have somebody there from when I get there, which I show up like 4 or 5 hours before.
Yeah, this is you're talking about full, that's more like full
Yeah, that's like
service.
full
Yeah, yeah,
service.
yeah.
Like you don't need to worry about a piece of trash
Right.
anywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So,
Um, you already talked about this. You do offer tastings. You mentioned
yes.
that as part of your deal. That's cool. And then you can handle last minute changes, right?
Yeah,
Guest count changes. You're good on
always.
that. And is there um is there anything like that you have for couples um like okay, so when they're if they know they want you, um is there anything with venues that they should be like making sure of, like, so because every venue is different
Yeah,
and what they allow and don't allow.
yeah.
So is there anything like in that space of between you and the venue, like resources, like do you like do you need a kitchen space? Do you need access to sinks? Do you need like is that if because everyone's different. Let's say I'm planning my wedding and I haven't booked my venue, but I know I want you,
For sure.
right? Like, do you have like a list of requirements or things that you have to be able to have at the venue that people like? Because I feel like this happens.
Yeah,
I've seen it where catering shows up and the venue has a full kitchen, but that's for their in-house when they're doing
yeah.
in-house
And they
catering.
won't let you
They
use
think they
that.
have access to it, and then they don't, and then now, like, the food is not it's not fully prepared,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so, like, do you have anything like that that you
No,
like.
that's a good question. I think too, it's all about their guidelines at the venue, right? So
Mhm,
I have all my permits, I have insurance, I have all that
yeah,
stuff, right? That's God forbid, knock on wood,
yeah,
propane tank explodes or
yeah,
something, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Um, and I got all of that, extra stuff for my insurance
mhm,
because I prefer to cook on the spot. I mean, that's kind of where the company name came from. Like
yeah.
I prefer 400 pairs of eyes staring at me like, what is this guy doing, dude? Like, and we bring a whole kitchen. Like
You
I
bring
need
it.
access to water and electricity, like a plug
That's
if it's
it,
gonna get dark.
that's it.
Other than that,
Other than that,
stay out of my kitchen. Don't come near
yeah,
me.
you're fully ready to
Yeah,
go, you don't need any of
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, not a
yeah. And
problem.
I don't do I do not do venue staff for serving. I will never do it again. Because if a carrot falls or my microgreens fall off, they don't bring it back. They just serve it.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've ran into that, bro, where like, well, they said that the venue has to serve because, and I'm like, bro, I pay for all my staff to have food handlers cards. Like, that's fine, but like, I don't want them touching my food,
Yeah.
because all the servers that work, they understand, like, they're not like scared. They're just like, oh my God, a carrot slipped, and they bring it back. But it's
Yeah.
like, I'm training them that importance of, not only consistency, but like respect the
Yeah,
plate.
yeah, yeah,
You
right,
know what I
right,
mean? Like,
right. And
that's
when you
it's
and this
art.
so then when you come to the venue and they're like, "Oh, we have to serve it," then it becomes an issue
It
because
becomes an
they could
issue.
care less
They could care less. Yeah, because at the end of the
sometimes.
day, well, a lot of venues will correlate plated dinners taking longer than buffet, and it's like way the opposite. Like, buffet is like, "Oh, what's
Oh,
this?
yeah, people
What's
people take their
that?"
time, him and haw, read the
Oh my
cards, like,
God,
yeah,
it's like,
ask what's in it
yeah.
and hold up the
Yeah,
line.
and they
Yeah.
and they hold it
Buffets
up.
buffets can
Yeah.
take time
Yeah,
sometimes.
and there was a, I mean, not to get off topic, and
No, go
I'm not
ahead.
bashing anybody, but there was like an outbreak of somebody got super sick from a wedding, and they blamed it on the food, but it wasn't from the food. It was because somebody didn't wash their
Mishandled
hands
it.
or something.
Yeah.
They touched that spoon, somebody kept touching that spoon, and then they touched something with their hands and just and fit and I will tell clients
So
that,
s
like,
yeah.
hey, we could do buffet, but your guests are not
Yeah.
touching my spoons
So
or
this is
food.
this is what's funny about that. It's funny you mentioned that because I do something that I don't think I know people don't do at weddings
Yeah.
because I do so many.
Yeah.
So here this is you're gonna love this. So I think about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm the last one to eat, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I am the last one. I release the tables. I eat last. When people are all getting all mad because they're the last table, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, I am the last one to eat.
Yeah.
Like, now here's what's funny about what you're saying is I think about what you just said. Because I'm the last one and I go through and I touch this and I touch that and I know that 150 people.
Just touched
Bro,
all that
do you
s
think they all went to the bathroom and washed their
Yeah.
hands before they
Never.
got their food? Hell to the no. Maybe a couple of them, but that's pointless
Yeah.
because you just ran through a line where everybody touched the spoon. When there's nobody, there are some places they'll serve it and they have gloves on. So it's, you're there, but when you have the self-serve buffet, it's very interesting because I
Yeah.
think about that. I'm like, I'm touching 3 or 4 or 5 different tongs, spoons that everybody has touched.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I will get my food and then I'll wash my hands
Yeah.
after.
Oh, for sure.
After, because I
Yeah.
touched all those spoons. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna eat my food after touching all those
Yeah.
or touch my cutlery until after I've gotten my food. I wash my hands
For sure.
and then I eat
Well,
because of that
imagine,
reason.
yeah. Well, imagine what it does to like an actual business that like takes pride in their work.
Yeah,
Like, if that happened to me, I mean, knock on wood, like if that happened to me, I'd be like, well, I know that that's not true because I know what I'm doing, but like,
yeah,
what are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there and argue with these people? Like, it just wouldn't help the situation anymore.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think people like overlook that. And then not only that, it's portion control. Like, I've seen buffets, not me personally, but just at events, and people are grabbing
They're hoarding,
10
dude. They
pounds
hoard.
of something. I'm
And
like,
then
yeah,
and they
like,
don't even eat it and they throw it away.
yeah, they throw it away, and then the vendor will run out of food, and then they're like, hey, what the heck? Like, we paid you. And I'm like, yo, Jimmy John over there's got 10 plates of the same
Always.
food. Like,
There's always that one person that's either like triple stacking the chicken
yeah,
or grabbing go like immediately going back for another
yeah.
plate and stuff like that. And yeah, I've just seen dude, I've seen so many different styles, ways,
It's a
buffets. I've
nightmare.
seen double buffets and
Yeah.
self-serve and like where they serve you and I don't mind. I mean, as a wedding DJ eating the food, I don't I'm indifferent whether it's a buffet,
Yeah.
um, but these things you're bringing up, I've also the other thing about here's an interesting thing I've seen happen with plated. I've seen them kill a whole tray,
Yeah.
and because there was literally only enough plates for the guests, like they lost 6, you know,
For sure.
plates, and now they don't.
Yeah.
Now they don't have enough any more steak or like, and now we're in a different situation now where they have to make some makeshift plate for those guests.
Yeah. I
You
do.
know what I'm
You
saying?
know what, man? Like,
So bad stuff can
yeah.
happen both ways, but I will say like it's interesting,
Yeah, and just to like backtrack to like I feel that a lot of clients that I deal with don't ever include vendors, right? They don't include the
No,
photographers, the
right.
DJ, even the owners of the venue. They don't include and stuff like that. And like, I mean, it's on camera now, so I don't can't retract. But like, I don't ever charge. I don't charge them for that.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if it's 40, again, if it's 40,
Oh,
30
well,
vendors,
yeah,
like
dude, like, yeah.
like we're gonna talk about food
Yeah,
cost
if you
here
got
for
a
a second.
14-piece band, like, we gotta
Exactly. You know what I
we
mean?
gotta have a
So we gotta have
conversation.
conversation. So I'm correlating that with what the statement you
Yeah, yeah.
just made, right?
Mhm,
So let's say there's eight vendors, okay, and I have then all the vendors they said, oh, we want steak. So now I have eight steaks, right? So now technically in quotations, I'm bringing eight extra steaks, right? I'm
mhm.
bringing eight
Okay,
extra,
okay.
okay. On top of that, I already bring whatever the tabletops are. Let's say it's a 10 top or an 8 top, then I'm bringing 10 extra steaks or eight extra chickens or
Oh,
whatever,
okay.
right? Um, and so what that does is now that will feed my employees if nothing happens. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think a lot of, companies in the catering industry, I don't know if they're scared to spend an extra $300 because it dips into their money. But for me, it's like, dude, not even my servers dropping the plate, but imagine a kid runs by a table and pulls
Yeah, it does
the
something.
lid. It's
Right.
not unthinkable. You
Yeah,
know what I
no,
mean?
no, yeah,
And so
anything can
let's say a
happen.
whole 10 top
Yeah,
plates just fell on the floor. Well, it's like, hey, no problem. I'll have those out in 2 seconds.
yeah, yeah.
Great.
No, everybody's different. Every and, like, I mean, there's been times where even with the even with the buffet, like, I've been told, "Oh, you can't I can't go through the buffet because they're not sure if they have enough
For
food."
sure.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay." I was like,
Yeah.
"Alright, whatever." But, and I've been to weddings where nothing was provided for the vendors, not even crappy vendor meals. Like,
Yeah.
the worst vendor meal I've ever had was, it was like a sandwich, literally like a school lunch, like a sandwich and a apple and, like, chips.
All right. That's
I was
lovely.
like
Yeah.
and I was like and it's funny because, like, how much did you charge the couple for this vendor meal? Probably
Yeah.
25 bucks for a sandwich and a bag of chips. But yeah, man, these are things that I love to talk about on this podcast because it's stuff that
Yeah.
people don't necessarily think about. You know what I mean? Like these weird things that you can only really know about if you're doing a lot of events and
Yeah.
experiencing a lot of different styles and way that food can be handled and served and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people don't think about like, dude, like food's like a serious thing. Like if I give you undercooked pork or undercooked
Yeah,
chicken, or let's say I have a stomach bug, you know
yeah,
what I mean? It doesn't matter if I wash my hands or not. Like if if I cough or
yeah,
something and I accidentally a little speck flies over into your
yeah,
food, like, well, dude, like you're gonna get sick.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and it's not like it's not my fault. It's not their fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's just like that's just where we're at. Like that's why I'm like super like in control of my food because
Yeah,
it's
everything.
my food. And if something does happen, I will take
Right.
responsibility for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What leads us into the next question? What so I would say that's part of it, right? What of this question is what kind of mistakes do you think couples make when they are getting catering? We just got onto one
Yeah.
asking. I think couples should be asking the caterer, whoever they're
Yeah.
hiring, like, hey, what happens in this scenario? And there, I don't feel like people ask that enough. Like we just talked
Yeah.
about, like,
For sure.
hey, do you bring extra? Like
Yeah.
what does that look like? These things. Is there things in your experience where you like something you kind of notice all the time, like that?
Yeah. Like that's such a good question because like listen, I mean, this is how I feed my family, right?
Right.
Like I cook Monday through Sunday every day, not
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And so I am so upfront and transparent with any of my clients that I have now and any future clients that might hear this. Like you don't have to get so much food. Like you just don't. Like I do weddings and every single time I like there's so much leftover food, right? Like
So people are overbuying.
they're overbuying. So like they're worried about I don't know if it's aesthetics or it's just like they watch too many movies. I don't know what it is, bro, but like they'll do cocktail hour appetizers, they'll do past appetizers, they'll do a salad, then they'll do a dinner, and then they'll do whatever, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or appetizer and then dinner. So you're at like a 5 course
Yeah.
thing, right? And I'll tell the client straight up, like, yo, you guys could literally just do a salad and an entree and like you'll be fine. Like you don't have to do all this, but like you can't really, but especially like, and it's so funny when I'm like face to face with these clients, I could see the husband like, doing one of these. And then the wife's like, no, 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 we're having this, and I'm like, okay, you know what? You're right. Like,
Yeah.
let's just do it. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
at that point, I already know, like, hey, I need you to grab a case of meal prep containers because this is gonna be a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think another good question that like they should always ask, and this is like, I'm not attacking anybody when I say this, but like, do you have insurance and do you have permits?
Mhm.
Okay. I could take you right now to where I prepare and cook my food and it's it's clean. It's clean as heck. I can show you my refrigerators, everything's organized and labeled, right? So it's kind of like I don't know how to say this, but like from me working in kitchens for 10 plus years, I learned all of that. I
Mhm.
learned food safety. I learned X, Y,
Right.
and Z, right? To where I mean the health department has came by, but like I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like I know what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
it's not like, and you don't want to get on their bad side ever. So if there's a company that maybe doesn't have their insurance or permits, I mean, ask why. Like, are they in their first year or something? Like,
Mhm.
I totally understand that. I mean, everyone's got to fly under the radar at
Right.
some point. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Mhm.
But if they've been in business like 2, 3, 4, 5 plus years, like
And they don't have all
there's
that.
an issue because now you need to maybe ask the question of where's my food being purchased at?
Yeah.
Because you cannot shop where I shop unless you have an actual business name, you have a seller's
I
permit,
had
and
no idea about that.
oh yeah, you cannot. And the reason why is because the two places that I shop at, they're 100% backed and guaranteed, meaning any meat, produce, or anything, they have paperwork on, right? So
Mm.
like they're getting it from
That's
here, it
crazy.
goes to there, and then I'm the final one to sign it. And then it gets, I mean, I could take
Yeah.
you in the back of the van. I got like cooler bags with
That's
ice
crazy,
packs,
dude.
and I get 8 hours out of those.
Wow, I had no idea. I didn't know that. I would never have thought of that or known that. So basically what you're telling me is that if caterers don't have certain paperwork, like they can't even shop like
No,
I'll use the word just professionally. They can't shop at these professional um
no,
catering supply food
no,
supply places.
no, they
Wow.
can't.
I
Yeah.
had no
And
idea.
so they're either getting, whatever, whatever you can think of the bottom barrel, like, I don't know. I'm not going to
Whatever.
say
Yeah,
anything to
whatever. Yeah,
offend
yeah, yeah,
somebody, you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what they're souping up for you and they're making it look into something that they're not, and to be honest with you, like the insurance or permits are like they're nothing.
Mhm.
Like if you're trying to build a catering business, one event at a wedding venue that requires insurance and permits
Yeah.
will pay for your whole year.
Right.
I think I pay like 700-800 bucks for the year.
Mhm.
And then I meet with my health department, whatever he is, friend, I guess, and we just go over some basic knowledge, like what's chicken supposed to be
Yeah,
at, what's
right.
pork, what's this, what's
Mhm.
that. um so again, it's not ragging on anybody, but there's a lot of,
No, this is important,
yeah,
man.
it's
This is
very
important information
important.
because
Yeah,
I don't, like that's not even something I would think to ask. If
yeah.
I was booking catering, like I wouldn't even think that I would have to ask something like that.
And
You know what
those
I
might
mean?
be the people that are doing it $10-15 cheaper, right? Because I got to pay a shared kitchen space every time I use that kitchen.
Mhm.
It's not $5.
Right.
You
No.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So like,
You're not doing it out of your house and
yeah,
you're not,
yeah,
yeah,
all this
it's all
stuff.
professional.
Yeah, so it's like when people look at those prices too, like I mean, you got to factor in like, is this guy a business or is he just like doing this on the weekend?
Right.
Right. And
Right.
like, I feel like not that it sets me higher than anybody else, but like me having that 10 years of experience of starting in the dish pit to working my way up through all these kitchens and going up. And I'd get fired from all these kitchens I worked at because I'm coming after your job, bro. Like
Yeah.
I run this kitchen better than you
Yeah.
anyways. And I always got fired. Or I
Mhm.
got bored with the menu because it's like same thing over and
Yeah, yeah,
over and
yeah.
over again. You know what I mean? Because I do feel like there's a lot of catering companies out right now where a lot of them don't have any kitchen experience. There's no fundamentals. There's no standards. You know what I
Yeah, I know what
mean?
you're saying.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
standards. Like just even, attending parties and having seen catering before I even started catering, but I was in the industry
Yeah.
like already. I'd be like, "What the heck?
Yeah.
Like, dude, what are you wiping your hands? I don't even see a
Yeah.
towel, a sandy
Yeah,
bucket."
I've seen
Like,
crazy stuff, bro.
you
I've seen
know?
with when it comes to catering, I can tell you, like, one of my least favorite things is when I show up and, it's a barbecue pit.
Yeah.
Just the way that most of those people barbecue, man, you know,
Yeah, they're wiping, sweating. Yeah.
like, sometimes grabbing the meat with their hands and throwing
Yeah,
it it's like, I know I get it, like, I'll
for
do that at
sure.
home. That's me.
Yeah.
But I hate to see it when I'm at a venue and
Yeah.
that's the catering, you know, it's like I understand, like, it's not a big deal, but, like, it kind of is when
Yeah.
you're serving so many people and you're touching so much
Yeah.
and we're outdoors, there's a lot there, so it's like, we're not in the backyard
Yeah.
cooking 2 steaks, we're cooking for a bunch of people, so, I mean, I've seen stuff, bro, I've walked outside and they're like, "Oh, it's barbecue or it's this," and, like, they're out I'm like, "Where are they?" They're
Yeah.
outside. I'm like, "Is it pre-prepped?" Like, "No, they're doing it right now," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I go outside and I'll watch, and it'll be like 5 or 6 guys, none of them look like dressed like
Yeah.
they're not even in any kind of uniform whatsoever, it looks like everybody's just kinda dressed however, and then I watch the way they're handling the food, and, like and they got like a gallon of water and, like, dumping it on they're dump
Yeah.
one guy's dumping it on another guy's hand, and he's just doing that, no
Yeah.
soap.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm ordering pizza, dude.
Yeah.
I've done it many times I've done it.
That's what I'm saying. Like somebody can get like severely sick from something and it could just be over
Yeah,
somebody taking a
there's no hand
shortcut.
washing station, bro,
Yeah.
like, I've watched them do stuff like that, and then right back to touching the food, and it's like, "No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thanks." No
Yeah.
gloves, just cutting the meat, no
Yeah.
gloves, like
Yeah, man.
so it's wild, bro. So, no, I understand everything that you're saying, but it trips me out about the permits and stuff. I
Yeah.
would've that's not something that's so industry specific, it's not something that I would've ever known
Yeah.
about.
Well, because I ran into that issue just since when I first started out, like I think I was like trying to jump too far ahead and into my business, thinking like, oh, I could just step onto any venue and do it like this. And it's like, hey, bud, like pump your brakes, bro.
Yeah,
Like, do be where you're supposed to be at right now and just let that all kind of
yeah,
fall into place later. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I feel that because it's funny because I, like, I thought I wanted, like as a DJ, like, as a wedding DJ especially, like, you think you want these big events, these big fancy events, and it's like,
Yeah.
if it had come too soon, I would've screwed it up, probably. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been ready
Yeah.
for the amount of pressure that is sometimes put on you, like, I've built up to it, and it's like I don't know, you think you want this stuff, right? Like, you think like,
Yeah.
"Oh, man, I'd love
For
to get
sure.
a 1,000-person event
Yeah.
or a gala," and
Yeah.
it's like, I wouldn't have been ready for it, man, like,
Yeah.
not in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now I could probably do
Yeah.
I could do anything, but
It's so funny, man. The very, 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 very first catering event I ever did, it was for 120 people, right? And it was just me and one other guy. And and I had like this little Blackstone grill. It was nothing compared what I had now. Definitely way in over my head. And just to say the least, like I failed. And I wasn't like super upset or anything. I legitimately was like, that was like such a great learning experience, and that is never gonna happen again.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And like I straight up like finally put two and two together and I was just like, yo, we need to buy equipment.
Yeah.
We need to get this
Yeah.
cracking. You know what
Right.
I mean? Um, because I messed up somebody's and it wasn't like a wedding or anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And technically it was like for a friend of a
Yeah.
friend.
Uh
But still like I took that
Yeah, of
loss. You
course,
know what I
man.
mean?
I mean, when you're first starting out, that's like I think my big battle, like, in the beginning was, like, not understanding technology and not understanding the difference between this speaker and that speaker and
Right.
watts and this and amps and, it's like, people don't, like you just think speaker.
Yeah,
Like, who cares?
for
Like,
sure.
dude, it's a look, it's big, dude. Like, it looks good to me. And then it's like, not clarity, sound clarity, microphones, antennas, signals, interference, like all these, bro. It's like that's I think everybody goes through that. So it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, but you know what I mean. I think I agree with you. Like wherever you're at, that's probably where you need to be at.
for
And
sure.
like in trying to jump too far ahead, you're not bound to fail, but you're most likely gonna have a hard time because
Yeah.
you're not ready for it.
I was just more like, I want to build relationships with people other than like, hey, write me a check and
Yeah,
then never see you again.
yeah,
Cause like, honestly, like, especially in December, a lot of it is repeat clientele.
mhm,
And like, it's not because I'm that good looking, it's because like the presentation
yeah.
and like they know what they're
Quality
going to
of
get.
service,
They know
consistency of
exactly
service.
what
Yeah,
they're going to get.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Okay, bro. Let's do this. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you have any last like thoughts on? Any last advice for couples?
no, I like I was emphasizing earlier. I think not only just in the industry that I'm in, definitely explore your options and know what your budget is. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people, um, I mean, you could go on my page or your page and you can be like, this guy's probably not $20. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Mm,
so know what your budget is and know that I think, yeah, ultimately just know like what you're gonna get from
yeah,
what you pay.
for
You know what I
sure.
mean? And to definitely, shop around and to make sure that like I'm a good fit,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be honest with you, and like I'll be quiet after this, but like everyone that works for me is covered in tattoos, right? I got servers that they got tattoos on their face, they got tattoos on their arms. My right hand man is covered in tattoos. And we did an event where they wanted me and my food, but we were placed way in the back, like way in the
Mm,
back. So, and I wasn't okay with that. You know what I mean? Not
mhm.
because like, hey, what the heck, because of
Yeah.
my tattoos, but because now we're switching up my whole thing because you might have family members that aren't okay with
Weird.
tattoos,
That's a weird deal.
right?
Yeah.
And I had never ran into that before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do a lot of work at the Fox Theater,
Mhm.
and I do the green room, so like artists will come through,
Mm,
right? And that was a question that I had asked him, like, "Are you guys okay with tattoos?" Because, and when I first started doing work there, I had hair,
mm.
and I said, like, in the summertime, I shave my head, and like it's blasted with tattoos. Like, you
Yeah.
guys are okay? And they're like, yeah, like they're all artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for the most part, we have conversations about tattoos
Yeah,
with
of
them,
course. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, morally, what I'm trying to say is like, make sure that we're a good fit.
Make
You
sure,
know,
yeah.
you
Whoever
could
you're
go,
hiring, make sure they're
yeah, you
yeah.
could go on my page and you'll see anybody that works for me. Like you'll see what they look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, we're not like we're not like gang members or anything like that. We don't
Yeah.
want to scare people. We just like, this is just who we
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
And like, food saved my life.
Mhm.
I know food saved my homeboy's life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, we show.
No, I get it. Yeah,
You
and
know?
that's how I am too. I tell people like I'm not the best DJ.
Yeah.
Like find the best DJ for you. Like doesn't matter how many I've done or whatever. Like you need to. I do the same thing. I encourage people like, hey, interview other DJs,
Yeah.
look at other prices.
Yeah.
You may find something better because maybe you click with someone
For
better.
sure.
Like it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. People should make sure they're a good fit, and if they don't like what they see, and that's why I do so much social media. There's you can see, like
Yeah.
there's no question about what you're getting.
Yeah, yeah, for
So,
sure.
so it's like if you don't like what you see, then yeah, it's okay. Like I'm not for everybody,
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's good advice, man.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's get so run through all of your website, your socials, so we can get that out to everybody. That will also be in the description on YouTube and Spotify and stuff. So let's go through that, and
Yeah, so the Instagram is OTS Catering, and then my website is actually linked onto there, so they can just click
go to
on
the
there.
just go to the Instagram.
Yeah, and honestly, the website itself will just kind of run through like basic menu options
Okay,
because I do change the menu every year.
okay,
But that's you can even contact me through there. It sends me
yeah,
a notification. You can DM me. My
okay,
number's all over the place. So
nice.
that, and then, yeah, I think we're on TikTok too. It's
TikTok too? Okay.
OTS Catering,
OTS
so
Catering also on TikTok?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. I'll make
so
sure to plug those in.
yeah, yeah.
Well, bro, thank you for coming
Yeah,
on the
for
show,
sure.
man.
That was
Very
great.
interesting conversation.
Yeah,
Like, it's funny because it's like I've come across people and like other wedding industry professionals, and I'll tell them like, hey, you should check out the podcast, man. Like,
yeah,
and then they're like, oh, why would I do weddings? Like, why would I? Because this is why.
this
Because
is why,
I'm
yeah,
learning so much more, dude. And like, I just by doing this podcast, I'm making myself more helpful to the couples that I
yeah,
work with because I'm learning so
for
much,
sure.
dude.
Yeah,
And now when people ask me questions, like interviewing professionals like you, it just helps. It helps build me too. You know what I mean? So I'm really appreciative of your time
yeah,
and walking through all these questions with us. And I know this is going to be helpful to somebody out there. They're going to come across this video and they're going to have questions about catering and what they should be worried about and looking into, overbuying,
absolutely.
how
Yeah,
much they should spend, like all these things you brought up, bro. Like it's good. I appreciate you coming and helping couples. So thank you for being
yeah,
here, man. Truly.
absolutely. Yeah,
For everybody else, if you are watching this, if you liked it, if you liked any part of it, please subscribe. You know, you can find it on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts. I think also on iHeartRadio. I think there's just audio, but you can watch it on Spotify and YouTube. Please leave comments, ask questions of your own if you have anything. We would love that so we can build future episodes. But thank you guys for watching. Again, please subscribe and thank you guys and thank you.
thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. All right.
All right.